What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to Weekly Indie Newcomer, the weekend series where you and I take a look at an indie game that's been bouncing around my brain over the course of the last week. This week we're taking a look at Orwell, which is kind of an interactive visual novel meets Papers, Please. Essentially, you're on the internet and your job is to monitor people, and then you report information on those people up to like Big Brother or whoever else, and you're trying to get the guilty people without snatching up innocent people. And so the concept of the game is really, really interesting. I figured I would invite you here and we could play it for a little while together and find out if it's something that you wanted to play for yourself. As always, I got the game linked for you down in the description, so if you wanted to check out Orwell later on down the line, by all means, it's there for you. It's there for you, baby. I will get the game started here. Let's go ahead and make a profile. Yup. An empty profile. Congratulations, you have been selected for the Orwell test phase. Please make a profile. We will call this Splattercat. Do I get a picture too? What picture can I get? Is there like a baller ass looking dude? See, none of these people look baller. Every single one of these is just like, eh. Nope, nobody balls hard in this. Not a single person. It's a little upsetting. All I wanted to do was ball, and I've just been left behind. Alright then. Well, this guy's got a hat, so I'm gonna go with him. You may now enter your email address. I can just be splattercat at... Wait, is this actually like real? I don't want to give you my email address. I just want to go to the next step. I am aware that my actions may severely impact the lives of the citizens of the nation. I will work thoroughly and judge objectively and the best of my belief while working. I will adhere... I don't know. We'll call it splattercat at dukeshoot.com. There. I don't think it's your real email address that it wants. I think it's just for immersion purposes. That dukeshoot.com, it's really fighting Gmail for that market share. Loading symbol kind of looks like the chamber of a gun. It's got 6 holes and everything. I bet it was that guy in white who was running away. Did you see that guy in white who was running away? I'm just saying, he stood out to me like he sprinted away from the statue. He's the only person running away from the statue. I don't know. You're online. Good. Call me Symes. I will be your advisor on Orwell. Together we will form both the first and the last line of defense against terrorism. For this test phase, you are one of the first people to try out the Orwell system under real circumstances, selected from thousands of applicants across the globe. Normally, congratulations would be in order, but as you can see from that footage, there has been an incident. So, let's get started. I've activated the reader tool for you. Its purpose is storing bookmarks to online websites and documents for easy access and to highlight when there's new information to be investigated. First, I want you to be informed of the situation. Our leading newspaper, the National Beholder, will bring you up to speed. So, a bomb obliterates Freedom Memorial and kills 3. Feel free to browse the National Beholder. I've activated the profiler. Open the unknown person file once you're done. Okay. I can't click on the ads, though. This isn't the real internet, because I'd already have malware. We could read more. Negotiations in Triflith have failed. Pargesian president reports or aborts negotiations with opposition. Violent riots in Triflith. Blaine encourages renewal. Movie shooting is completed for 100 Gray Shadows. Detonation destroys the Freedom Memorial in Bonton. 3 people killed, 5 severely injured. Terrorist ambition suspected as mysterious letter reaches authorities. At approximately 7:50 on Wednesday evening, an explosive device detonated at the Freedom Plaza in Bonton. According to official police reports, 3 people were killed and at least 5 bystanders were severely wounded. The Freedom Memorial was nearly completely destroyed. Police forces closed off the area immediately. They think it was a terror attack. Police confirmed an explosive device was homemade and triggered a short distance away from a cell phone signal. They've also confirmed that several hours earlier, an anonymous letter containing the 3 stanzas of the German folk song, Die Gedanken sind frei. Frei. I can't do that noise. Somebody showed me how to do it one time. I can't do that phonetic noise. I had a friend who speaks German, and he taught me a trick to do it one time, and I forgot the trick. The trick made you do it, though, every single time. And the thoughts are free and reached local authorities. Prime Minister Blaine immediately issued a public press statement, firmly condemning the assault and put the nation on high alert until the perpetrators have been brought to justice. Okay. Unknown person file. The profiler holds all the known information on those we want to investigate. The file you have opened is for our main suspect. The blue-haired woman that the CCTV footage shows before the assault is no longer a stranger to police. Arrest record. The highlighted elements in the record are pieces of data that are able to be extracted. We call these elements data chunks. Hovering over data chunks will reveal their relevance to the case and any connections or information it may influence. Drag and drop all data chunks from the police database into a profile to upload them to our servers. Okay, so profile update Cassandra Watergate. We upload that to Orwell. She was arrested on July 10th, 2016 for assault on an officer. Duncan Lloyd was the arresting officer, and she was held in Bonton Central PD. Suspect was arrested on site after Officer Franklin had been struck by an unknown object and became unresponsive. Protesters at the origin of the assault were forcibly moved, where the suspect was found kneeling and weeping on the group. When asked to lay on the ground with her hands behind her back, she cooperated immediately. Okay. I don't see any other data chunks around. Where does it put her? We already dragged and dropped that one. There are no other data. Oh, it's her picture. I didn't see the little blue thing around it. Alright, so we got to drag her picture over too. So we got that covered. Very good. Pictures and names are crucial information for Orwell to identify a person. Information in documents can only become a data chunk when it can be clearly assigned to a target person. Add the reason for Ms. Watergate's prior arrest that has just been unlocked. We will need this info to be R2 progress. Okay. So a related document has been found. Good. With the data you extracted from the police record, a new document can now be accessed. Now let me ask you a question. Do you believe in coincidence? I don't. Find data revealing where she attacked the police officer and you'll see what I mean. Okay. She was previously arrested for assault on an officer. Is this woman a terrorist? Woman allegedly injured a police officer 2 weeks ago remains in custody. Trial scheduled for August. Cassandra W., a simple protester, anti-governmental terrorist. The case that keeps the media and the public guessing, Cassandra Dub, pictured above, who had allegedly injured a police officer severely 2 weeks ago, is still being held in police custody. The young woman is accused of having hit the victim's head with a large brick. The incident occurred during a rampage at Freedom Plaza as part of the demonstration against the newest amendments to the government's model project, the Safety Bill. The exact same location as the assault. Then she turns up here right before the explosion. Surely not a coincidence. I mean, it could be. You never know. I mean, we're going to need something more concrete. And you know, Miss Watergate is still running around freely. We should find out why. We should also gather more background information on her. I want to know who we're really dealing with. Okay. She's an artist by profession, apparently. There it is. We've got another related document. Oh, yeah. One who does street art by blowing memorials to pieces by any chance? Great, you have found another document. Before we go on, let's clarify your job and how it affects mine, shall we? You've extracted all the information I already knew about Miss Watergate. Starting now, I'm going into this case blind. The Orwell Ethical Codex dictates that investigators like yourself are the only ones allowed to access the documents of target persons. Advisors like me only get to see the data provided by the investigators. We will then draw conclusions and request action. Your primary job is to provide information you deem important. Never give away incorrect or misleading data. You may hit disable on a data chunk you do not want to pass on to Orwell. However, some data chunks might be necessary to progress on the case. Cassandra's portfolio. Hi, I'm Cassie, a colorful inhabitant of Wonderland right behind the rainbow. In Wonderland right behind the rainbow. Glad you found me. Finally found the courage to quit my dull day job and focus on my art career and put stuff in my portfolio. Below you'll find a hand-picked selection of my latest works. You can browse through them by clicking on the arrows on the left and right side of the pictures below. See something you like? Of course you do, because it's freaking awesome, isn't it? Leave a message on my utel account, the Cassie92, and tell me which piece you'd like. I'm going to make a fine art print and ship it right away to your doorstep. Best thing, free of charge. Now off you go and have some fun. Okay, so her utel account will be something that we'll take into consideration. Good, you found a chat handle. This will allow us to overhear any conversation on that account. The listener has now been unlocked. New conversations will appear whenever they are started. This one right here, I'm going to go ahead and disable that because it doesn't seem pertinent. She quit her day job to work on an art career, so we'll add that. Interesting. We should find out what that job was. Yeah, that could actually connect us to accomplices and things like that. Yep, that beaut is me. I was never sure about the title, though. The Businessman's Forgotten Daughter. So her father was a businessman. We'll add that to the record as well so that we can make links for family. A Christmas present for my darling, so she's got a man. There it is. So we could track him down as well. Now that we're putting things together, we'll check the listener. Unknown person. Hey, you. Hey, Jossie. I can't seem to find my credit card. I assume you took it, right? You got me, Sherlock. Slow typers. I'm in the middle of buying all of Boston with that platinum card I lifted from your desk. Can't stop me now. She stole the credit card of an unknown person. If we're able to find out who she was talking about, we could lock it for the owner. Well, lucky for you, I don't mind you going on a splurge as long as you pick up some wine for dinner. Wine? What does Joseph Langley, my fearless attorney and all-around badass, have in mind this time? Prob's just a business call from one of his favorite clients. Ah, there we are. Wait, she stole the credit card of her lawyer? Really? Well, we should be able to track the credit card of this Langley down and lock it for him. Done. No, really, no need to thank me, Mr. Langley. You now have a profile for a related person. It can be accessed via the profiler. Data chunks will only appear for targeted persons, can only be extracted from the relevant profiles. So she said I better pick up shitloads of wine. You'll have to get that client of yours pretty buzzed to handle all that business. A bottle should be fine. She's a lightweight. Whatever. I guess I should pick up some of those party pills from Big Pharma, aka my parents, then. Okay. Watergate Pharma Entrepreneurs. That does ring a bell. Oh, come on. I was only teasing. Speaking of your parents, when are you going to tell them about us? Ugh, yeah, maybe. Gotta go. Text you later. So she's related to him. I should not have taken the information on the credit card because now that's been locked. I wouldn't have locked it anyways because then they're going to know that their conversations are being monitored. It gives you want the prey to think that they're free and clear and nobody's actually looking into them. That's just my personal opinion. I would never do anything that triggers. If I was doing this job, I would never send information in that would trigger, you know, the person that I'm following and observing in any way to my presence. So headlines. That's not what we need. Procedure closing raises manipulation suspicions. Investigation into malicious injury of a police officer has been dropped due to lack of evidence. Speculated that the accused parents manipulated the trials. Orwell informs me you've encountered conflicted data chunks. Whenever the content of two data chunks are at odds with one another, those will be shown as conflicted. When you extract one of the data chunks containing a conflict, the others will become invalid immediately. I'd highly recommend that you clarify the context of the conflict before you proceed, though this is your decision. Once the information has been parsed, there is no way to reverse your choice. See, that right there doesn't make sense to me, because if you're creating an ongoing case, I'm sure detectives and whatnot, they will find conflicting pieces of information, but they'll think one is more valid than the other, so they'll set that aside, and then later on down the line in the case, they'll find out the one that they thought was the important one might not be, and so you just can't go back and swap that real quick, make an addendum. The case that has been at the center of media attention for the last month has finally come to an end. Cassandra was acquitted of alleged assault against being a police officer. Show me the conflict. However, the case might be reopened should new evidence be discovered. The suspect's lawyer, Joseph Langley, pictured above, welcomed this outcome. At no point has there ever been any valid evidence that my client was guilty, at no point at all. The revered defense attorney commented during a post-trial press gathering. The defense successfully brought video evidence depicting the incident in question, which eventually turned the tide of the proceedings. Meanwhile, relatives of the victim expressed their disappointment on hearing the result of the lawsuit. They openly voiced concern that the wealthy family of the accused might have influenced the outcome in her favor. So the case was closed, lack of evidence, but it may have also been closed due to manipulation. The victim, a father of 2 young sons, was rushed to the hospital after the incident in mid-July, where he's still in an induced coma and unresponsive to treatment. She doesn't seem like the kind of person to throw a battery or throw a rock or throw a brick at somebody. I'm just saying. Watergate Pharmaceuticals enriches lives with our industry-leading range of products, making an important contribution to your well-being. Below you'll find a selection of our most popular products. Cough drops that fight irritation of the throat, activating pills against migraines, medication that increases concentration. So they make like Adderall, medication for alleviation of arthritic joint pain. So that's like naproxen essentially. Antidepressants to help you stabilize your emotions, an all-around painkiller that dissolves in water, and Zamarola Night, soothing pills for a good night's rest against occasional sleeping problems for acute application when suffering from insomnia. Okay. So that session's been closed. We can't use the Insider yet. But she's the daughter of pharmaceutical. Maybe they're going to force me to pick one just to show me how the game functions here. Let's go with lack of evidence since that seems more likely. That's what I figured. A pity the CCTV feed did not actually help. Maybe it will today. Alright, so seeing as we've got nothing else going on here, we will go back to some of these articles here. We've already swooped everything in that we can swoop in. Nothing there. Just going back through real fast to make sure I've not missed anything. Maybe this was relevant. I might be wrong. Maybe that's a landmark. Who knows? So you're under the impression that our wonderful Miss Watergate is really living in Wonderland. Somehow I doubt it. Call it intuition. People's lives are hanging in the balance here. What if you pass me something I cannot identify as wrong so easily? Gotta be more careful next time around. Okay. Well, I figured she was probably just being artsy-fartsy about it, but hey. You know. I didn't know if maybe there was a location where there was like a rainbow statue that was referred to as Wonderland by the normal inhabitants. Like, you never know. So we should have an associated persons here. Okay, Joseph Langley. And how do we get after him? So there's Joseph Langley right there. From the listener, can I pull his profile? No, I can't pull his profile from the listener. So she's involved with her lawyer. But we can't drag anything about Joseph Langley over. Alright, that's fine. Alright, so on the products page, we've actually got clickable links right here. I didn't realize that. So we can go to the company page. The name Watergate has been inseparable from progression and improvement of pharmaceutical research for 80 years. Watergate Pharmaceuticals is one of the nation's leading companies in the area of medicine. At the same time, it's one of the largest medication exporters to all areas of the world. Ah, there it is. She's been associated with her family. So her old job appears to have been working as a corporate something officer. Is that actually the same person? It indeed is. I see. Keeping it a family affair. Documents that you've already viewed may be updated from time to time as events unfold. The reader will notify you when it happens. The National Beholder just published a new article. You may want to look and see if there's any new information available. Okay. Crime rate continues to drop. There's the safety bill. Safety bill is a collection of safety-centered laws and statutes created with the ultimate goal to protect the freedom of the nation's citizens. Simplified, sped-up process is taking investigative measures against criminal suspects and their prosecution. That sounds like spin to me. That sounds like big-time spin. Parge's peacekeeping mission. Alright. Got the party. So positions in the party. Nothing really there. People in the party. We've got Robert Blaine, who's the Prime Minister. I'll leave that up so you can read it yourself. Just give it a little pausey pause if you want to. Catherine Delacroix. And Peter Faulkner. The Parge's peacekeeping mission. Oh, okay. It's going to link us back to the projects page. Alright, and then if we wanted to participate, there's a donate button, a volunteer button. Alright. They lit up a bunch of stuff. There's been a company update as well. As far as jobs go, my guess, yes, a chief operating officer. So that's what she was. There's got to be information in here that I can add. I mean, we know that was her old job. So it seems weird to me. So Alice Watergate is her mother. We got anything on the listener? No. Crime rate continues to drop. Didn't see anything super pertinent over here. So actually the thing we needed was right here in our profile. We couldn't drag it from the hiring page or whatever else. I guess that way everything stays in the family. Being an artist and a junior COO seems quite odd. She also mentioned she had a dull job, didn't she? She did indeed. And there it is. We are urgently looking for a COO to replace the retired, formerly appointed predecessor. Yep, I thought that was going to be draggable earlier. Or maybe I was wrong and nothing stays in the family. Ouch. This is probably what she meant about quitting her job. Good. Currently, I'm thinking our Miss Watergate underwent quite a radical change, don't you agree? Let's find out what happened between these two lives of hers and what may have caused that shift. Alright. Cassandra's timeline. You're invited to tea inside the rabbit hole. Her birthday was 1992, September 13th. Art, music, and activism are her interests. Art, music, and activism. What a lineup. In addition, fuck all of you government lackeys. So she opposes the government vehemently. Or at least vocally on the internet where it's easy to oppose the government. Well, Miss Watergate, we aren't too fond of you either. Let's see here. She's in a broken friendship. Sweetie, what's the matter? It doesn't sound like you haven't hung out for ages. We gotta get out from time to time. You feel much better. Man, that seems like an overreaction. And that says that it's in conflict with a known data chunk. She's in a relationship with Langley, her attorney. With her lawyer, huh? Might be noteworthy. We already knew that information, though. Yeah, I was gonna say, we already dealt with that. 3 comments here. So what happened to your beautiful hair? She called it catharsis. So Catharsis might be like a known pseudonym, maybe? I don't know. We'll look for anything else. Ah, an alias. You know people on the web. So many names, so many identities. It's always good to record an alias. Then we can match data chunks to target persons whenever they're using them. Okay. And then she was invited to an activist group by Harrison O'Donnell. You know, I'm enjoying this entirely too much. Like, this job would make me super happy. And I know it's a shitty, messed up job. Like, I know it's evil. I know. But for some reason, I enjoy this. Just digging through people's lives and just collating information. I find it to be incredibly entertaining. I could actually do this for a career. An activist group. Anything more specific? So on April 12, they were best friends. Whereas on January 29th, they were no longer friends. I'm gonna say she's estranged from Mary. Just because that right there, if somebody popped off with that shit on the internet with me, I'd be like, oh, this dude wants to fight. I know where you live, cud. Where you at? How sad. Alright. Well, we can go to the listener now if we've got further individuals she's been talking to. Does she have a new session? Oh, she does. Hey, did you hear about the Freedom Plaza bombing? Yeah, don't remind me. You know I have a history with that place. Already fucking me up enough that I have to catch a bus from there every single day too. Many bad memories. And, okay, so she catches a bus from there every single day. Meaning her presence there before the bombing could really be a coincidence after all. I'll reserve my thoughts on that until you find more evidence. Darling, you don't need to justify yourself to anybody, especially not me. Apparently she was accepted into Goldfells. What the hell is Goldfells? Yeah, that seems important. Yeah, and I wouldn't have been called a terrorist in all the papers. You're not a terrorist, okay? Ain't I? You sure? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, damn it. What? Your car's not working here. I can't buy anything. Maybe you've gone bankrupt or something? Unless you went on a serious shopping spree, there should be plenty of money on there. Well, I guess we'll have to go without wine then. So she's part of a group called Thought. Maybe that's what influenced her. What is Goldfells? Should find something that shows her current attitude and see if we're following the right person. Got an important appointment tonight. It's something out of a schedule and I can't postpone it. You gotta be kidding me. Wow, she kind of loses her shit with a quickness. She's on Metherin. What's this Metherin? Can you look it up for me, please? Yeah, I'll look up the Metherin in just a minute. Wow. Man, she's blowing up right now. Dude, you shouldn't have to argue your job. You need to let this girl go with a quickness. Yeah, definitely, man. You're a lawyer. You don't need this shit. See, this is the problem is he's backpedaling. The second she, like, freaked out, he should have just been like, I'm not doing this. And just closed the computer. Done. Finished. That's how Splattercat do. Like, oh, well, if you're just gonna bitch and yell at me. I don't have to sit here for it. What is Metherin? Antidepressant. I wonder if her adverse attitude towards the assault is actually worth anything, then. Perhaps emotions were high if she's relying on this medication. Apparently he's going to indicate that to law enforcement. That she is a little bit on edge. So the thought. Freedom is unfree. Oh, by Casarthus. Yeah. And it matches up with her other information. Okay. We got her dead bang now. You all probably know me as that blue-haired punk bitch, stupid cunt, or anti-governmental terrorist. These are only some of the names I've been called during the criminal investigation against me, and that was because in the middle of the chaos, someone believed to have seen me hurt a police officer. It never occurred to anybody that it wasn't me. We were there because we wanted a peaceful protest. We have always been against violence. Okay, has an adverse attitude towards violence. One would assume that in an age where there are cams everywhere, it should be easy to prove whether I was involved or not, but it wasn't. It took weeks of investigated custody to figure out that the cam footage was actually not clearly showing anything at all, which raises the question, why are there so many cams in the first place? The answer is intimidation only. You keep calm, quiet, and careful when there are cameras around, or you fear that there are cameras where you cannot see. Then founding this blog years ago, Abraham predicted all of this for the web. Now it's in our real lives too. Okay, so one side said she's adverse to violence. It looks like the rest of these are hidden. I am going to go through them just in case, because I am a thorough little worker bee. And now, well, yeah, we had that right there, but we haven't messed with that yet because we're trying to find evidence as to whether or not she's violent consistently. One would think that given the fact that she cooperated with police when they told her to get down, I would say that she's not a violent reactionary, although that's just one situation. We need to find more to back it up. So here, she's actually cheering people that do use violent methods, though. We may have to make a call on that one. I don't see anything down here that's indicative. But you know what? We're out of time anyways. This game is called Orwell, and I'm actually really, really fascinated with it. I just wanted to share it with you guys because it's a lot of fun. Like, it's a cool little title. It's interesting. It sets out to do something unique. And so, I like it quite a bit. Then again, I've always enjoyed data mining and kind of following stuff up on the internet and running down links and trails. And it's very much kind of like a mental puzzle, and I find it to be fascinating. I will see you all in the next episode of Weekly Indie Newcomer, which comes up every single weekend. I try to get one up anyways, unless there's just no games that caught my eye. This week I saw Orwell, and I knew for a fact I had to get this one moving and give you guys a little preview. I know it's not for everybody, but it is still kind of a fascinating little title. I will see you all later. If you like what I do here on the channel, make sure that you check out the Patreon. That's the best way you can support me, and make sure that I get to keep doing this here on the internet over the future. I got a link for you down below that'll lead to that. In addition, you can get the game for yourself and support the developers, because unique indie games should be encouraged as an art. So I will see you all when next we meet, probably next Saturday or Sunday. Up until then, hi do everybody. It's been fun.